Hello. So here we are. It is December 10th, and you are likely already exhausted, and the holidays haven't even started yet. So let's first see, how are you feeling? What describes you right now? Are you already exhausted? Are you dreading the next few weeks? Are you somehow still optimistic that you'll make it through the sprint? Just drop an A, B, or C in the comments, in the chat, and let me know. How are you feeling right now? For me, I'm a C. However, I am starting to feel the pressure for sure. And I don't have young kids in my household anymore. My kids are in their 30s, but believe it or not, I still feel that pressure. Gifts, stocking stuffers, meals, the whole thing. So are you A, already exhausted, B, dreading the next few weeks, or C, somehow still optimistic? Okay, so we're going to use a couple of slides to help go through some of this content. Before we dive in, my name is Karen Clark Salinas, and I am founder of Rebalance Wellbeing. Welcome to Rebalance Live. We're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and hopefully Instagram as well. For those of you that are just joining, let's talk about the holiday magic maker trap. I'll describe what that is in a few minutes, and then I'm going to give you 3 different conversations you can have with your partner that will help solve the problem and make it so that you are not single-handedly carrying the mental load of creating magic for everyone. So before we do that, though, let me know where are you tuning in from. Drop your locations in the chat or the comments. I am in Baltimore, Maryland, East Coast of the U.S. Are you somewhere else in the U.S., or maybe you're tuning in from another country? I'd love to know where you're watching from. Okay, so let's take a look at this holiday magic maker trap and where the problem is. You are simultaneously the production crew and also simultaneously expected to be part of the delighted audience. So as the production crew, you're in charge of gift lists, your meal planning, holiday school events, maybe travel coordination, basically schedule Tetris. You are also expected to be the delighted audience, joyful, present, spontaneous, contributing to those relaxed, special, warm memories. Problem is, these are incompatible roles. And the tension between the two is a recipe for burnout, to be quite honest. And I know that because I fell into that trap year after year. I figured out recently I fell into that trap and stayed there for over 25 years. Yes, even trying to create some magic for my adult kids that don't even live at home anymore. They just come back, which I'm very grateful for. They come back to share the holidays with me and my husband. So I'm wondering, what is what's your biggest holiday stressor? Is it meeting everyone's expectations, or is it the mental load of gifts and meals? And quite honestly, it could be another option as well. But if you had to choose, which is your biggest stressor right now? Everyone's expectations or the mental load of gifts and meals? Put an A or a B into the chat and let me know. Right now, for me, it's B. I am very fortunate to have a lot of family coming in for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, all the while, running my coaching business for you. It may also be finishing Q4, or trying to set your team up for a successful start to a new year. There's just a whole lot going on. Okay, so here's the solution. I'm going to share with you 3 strategic conversations that can help you redistribute the mental load so you actually get to experience some of the magic instead of just orchestrating it. So this is going to be very practical, very actionable, and you can actually use this immediately, starting this week and maybe even implementing some of it come this weekend. So here are the 3 conversations. The first is goal alignment. The second is a standards agreement. And the third is strategic division. And this is all to help you resolve the trap of not only being the solo production crew for the holidays, but also being expected and also wanting to be part of the delighted audience. So these 3 conversations, goal attainment, standards agreement, and strategic division, are part of the solution. All right, let's take a look at the first conversation, goal alignment. Here's a sample script that you could use. You could say to your partner, feeling a little stressed, been thinking about how to fix this. I want to talk about how we're approaching the holidays this year, with the goal that we're both able to be present and enjoy celebrations without me burning out. So the point here is that I'm going to try and get both you and your partner on the same page about both owning the problem and the solution. You're inviting partnership, not asking for permission, and you're creating some psychological safety for the other 2 conversations that are coming. You're not saying you never help. You're not saying I need you to do more. And you're not even really saying, can you help me? You're asking for partnership, not permission. And so the agreement you're seeking is that you will both be present and enjoying the festivities, not one of you orchestrating and the other experiencing. Okay, next conversation, the standards agreement. Achieving the magic making holiday standards means that I'm exhausted before the celebrations even start. This year, I'd like to focus on excellence where it matters and letting go of perfection everywhere else. So, a question, the script you can ask is, would we rather have Martha Stewart's holiday aesthetic or a parent who's not resentful and exhausted? We can't have both when both of us are also working full time and caring for our kids and our home. So examples could look like gift bags versus elaborate wrapping, store-bought cookies or desserts versus homemade from scratch, tidy versus spotless, only cleaning the common spaces where guests will actually see, not every square inch of your home, including, making sure the closets look amazingly organized in case anybody should go open a door by mistake. Here's also something that's important. When you agree on the standards that you're trying to hit, when you show that there's high standards everywhere for everything, you're showing that love means exhausting yourself. When you focus on strategic excellence, you're modeling love means being perfect. Sorry, no, that's exactly what it doesn't mean. It means strategic excellence means that you're modeling love means being present, not perfect. I'm gonna say those again. When you focus on high standards everywhere, everything, you're modeling love means exhausting yourself. When you focus on strategic excellence, you're modeling love means being present, not perfect. So here's the agreement that you're offering to your partner. This year, we're prioritizing presence over perfection. Can you commit to that with me? So let's ask another question. Who would notice if you lowered your holiday standards? A, only me. B, my partner. C, the kids. Put an A, B, or C in the chat. Who's going to notice if you change things up a little bit this year and don't reach for perfection on every little thing that's possible? Okay, let's turn this off. And actually, I would really appreciate it if you're getting something out of this video right now, this live stream. I would love if you would give it a like. That helps push it out into the algorithm, which means that more people can learn from these different conversations and escaping the holiday maker trap that so many working parents fall into. So give this live stream a like. I really appreciate it. Okay, so let's move on to the third conversation. And this one is the trickiest, quite honestly. But anything you can do to start having these kinds of conversations with your partner will help. And maybe you actually already strategically divide caring for the kids and caring for your home, and that it's not that challenging to apply it to the magic making of the holidays. But if you're like I was when my children were young and I was trying to create magic uh, throughout the entire holiday, I was not having anything close to this kind of a conversation, and it would have really helped. So, you can start with, here's a list of everything that we usually do for the holidays. And before we decide what stays, what we're going to continue to do and what we'll let go of, let's actually start with, what would the kids actually miss? Kids remember 3 to 5 traditions, not the 47 you're killing yourself to execute. And I actually know this to be true because at some point when my kids were a little bit older, maybe high school age, I asked one of my sons, what's most important to you of all the things we do at the holidays? And he told me wrapping gifts. I couldn't believe it. I was so surprised. I would have thought that that was a chore. I would have guessed, would have said baking cookies, or putting cookies out for Santa and carrots for the reindeer, and then opening stockings on Christmas morning. I had no idea of all the things I was doing, what really mattered. And so, what would your kids actually miss? Not what your mother in law might notice, not what Pinterest says that you should do, not what you've always done. What would your kids, the humans you're supposedly creating all this magic for, what would they miss? So, with your partner, talk about, what are the 3 to 5 non negotiable traditions we want to make sure we implement this year, and then everything else is optional. So, what might survive? Christmas morning pancakes and stockings, plus one movie. What gets eliminated might be the advent calendar, Elf on the Shelf, 12 cookie varieties, cards, elaborate decorations, and maybe even matching pajamas. I get a little stressed even saying that list. So, part A of this conversation is you and your partner deciding, what are the 3 to 5 non-negotiable traditions that's really important to one of us or to our kids. Those are the ones that we are going to focus excellence, not perfection. See conversation 2. But what are the ones that we can really try and focus on, hit a standard of excellence, and then make everything else optional? Okay, sorry. So now we're on to the second part of this conversation. And this is a tough one for a lot of people. Again, this is the one that I would have will really have helped me not be burned out by the time Christmas Day arrived, and all I could do was spend the whole day in my pajamas once breakfast was done and gifts were opened. So it's asking your partner, of those 3 to 5 traditions that we are considering non-negotiables, who will own what? And ownership, complete ownership, means that the person in charge, they conceive of what it means to implement, have that actual tradition transpire. They will do the planning for it, and they will do the executing. And what it really means is that instead of each partner saying, hey, help me get this done, it's, I've got it. I'm in charge. No worries. It's covered. This is tough. This is tough. At least it was tough for me as a people pleaser. I now identify as a recovering people pleaser. But who will own what? Meaning ownership is complete ownership, complete. You're conceiving of it, you're planning of it, you're executing it. So let me give you an example. One partner might completely own kids bring gifts from Santa, gift giving for all of their family, decorating the tree and the house, and maybe doing Christmas morning breakfast tradition. Other partner is completely in charge of gift giving for their family. And that means complete ownership of gift giving is choosing the gifts, purchasing the gifts, wrapping the gifts, shipping them if you're not going to see the person. It's soup to nuts, A to Z, the whole thing. This other partner might be in charge of stocking stuffers. They might be willing, or not willing, but agree to take on bringing a contribution to, say, a holiday party, deciding whether it's an appetizer, is it a dessert, and again, which one, what are the ingredients that are needed, making it, putting it on proper serving plates or dishes, making sure it gets to the holiday event, and then remembering to also gather up the dish before you leave to bring back home. Now, this is just an example, and there's 2 things that are important about this, is that it's between you and your partner to decide what ends up on each person's list. Also, as a bit of an alternative, you can also set it up so that one partner is the lead and the other can support if that's what you agree to. It might be that part of what you do is you divide and conquer what it takes to get all the gifts for extended family. And if it's better for you to share that, that's fine, as long as one person is taking a lead on it. It's your decision. And it also means that you both are on the same page in terms of expectations. Okay. Oh, another important part to this is that these lists don't have to be divided up, 50-50. What is important is that it feels fair to both of you. You feel set up for a a reasonable amount of success, and that it means that one person has really shared the load of orchestrating all of the holiday magic. So here's a critical boundary, and what you could say to your partner: your way is the right way. I've usually done stocking stuffers. This is the way we've done it, as you might remember. But if you're in charge of it this year, you do it however you would like. Unless we've agreed to it, I will not be available for questions, and I will not be offering any quality control. This is all you, and I trust you to figure it out, and I appreciate your effort. So here's what you can expect. First, they're going to do it differently than you, but that's the point. Imagine how great it is that kids get to see a variety of how their parents do different tasks. You may feel uncomfortable letting go. And that's on you to manage that. That's not for your partner. In order to get the the partnership that you seek, you need to be willing to let it go. You can also expect that maybe there are going to be some bumps along the road, and that maybe there might be a mistake or two. That's okay. Everybody's learning. It's a new way to help both partners show up with joy and presence and fully enjoying the memories that you're creating as a family. And it's an investment in the future. So you can look at it somewhat as this may be the hardest year, and it will get easier after that. What do you do if your partner resists? Well, they might say, but you're better at it. And you can say, you're capable of fill in the blank, cooking an appetizer and bringing it to our neighbor holiday party. You can figure out what your family would like as gifts. They might also say, tell me what to do. And you can say, that keeps me as the project manager. You decide. They might also say, what if I mess up? And then you can say, we'll have a funny story. Your way will be right. And I trust you, and I appreciate your effort. Okay, so what is the hardest part about transferring ownership for you? Is it letting go? Is it trusting their way? Is it not rescuing them? Boy, I would say all of them are hard, but my experience over the years has taught me that the freedom is achievable in trusting them, trusting their way to be the right way. And when you trust, you don't need to rescue. So tell me in the chat which would be the hardest for you in terms of transferring the ownership. A, letting go, B, trusting their way, or C, not rescuing them. Okay. So here we go. Hold on a sec. Sorry, let me take that question off. Okay. So here's what the goal is again. It's that you're both able to experience the magic you're creating instead of one person orchestrating while the other enjoys. That would have made such a big difference to me in my holiday planning. I set my standards too high for myself. I didn't ask for help. And by the time Christmas Day arrived at noon, was completely depleted. I had very little left to give, to play with new toys, to read new books, to savor some of those Christmas cookies that I had 12 varieties of that I had baked. So it would be really amazing if you could give the gift to yourself and your partner and your kids to share the magic making. All right, so what do you want to do if you're ready to do this and more? Here's what I recommend. I want you to join my free community called Rebalance You. And the URL is at the bottom of this screen, school.com/rebalance you jumpstart /about. There, you'll get a replay of this session. You will also get immediate access to a course that I've created called the Power Hour System. And this will help you reclaim 1 hour a day to focus on yourself and invest in your well-being. And you also will have a chance to meet like-minded parents, ambitious working parents who are trying to redesign work, family, so that they can show up as an energized leader at both work and home. You can prove that excellence without exhaustion is possible, and that you do not have to sacrifice sanity for success. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I wish you a partner in orchestrating the holiday magic you're trying to create in your family this year.